Hi, this is Yvonne Teoh Bource from Connect Soul, and I'm here yet again with your weekly soul wisdom for the week of March 5th, 2018. Wow, where is the time going? So, what will I talk about today? I had, like last week, I had a couple of topics that came up, and I was all determined to start talking about connect to soul because it's what I work on all the time. It's what my business is called. It's what all my education, my inspiration, and my coaching is directed towards, is to be able to walk your talk, to be able to live from the inside out, as I say. And I've come up with a few steps, because I like steps, to help people to actually walk their talk and, as you know, being connected to soul. So I was all ready to do that when something else came up, and it was actually one of the steps. And I thought I would take that step first, and I would discuss that first. And that is the illusion that we have about time. Because to live a life connected to soul, and I think there's a little bit of glare on my glasses, so let's just see if I can take that off. You know, when we live a life connected to soul, we need to have silent time. We need to have quiet time of introspection. And the most important thing about living a connected to soul, consciously aware life is to be present. You know, our mind translates our life through stories. You know, we can't look at anything without the mind creating a story about it. It's like, well, that's a flower, but you'll get, oh, isn't it a lovely flower? And look what color it is, and the shape, and the plant, and is it alive? Is it dying? We have a story instantly. Now, the trick to living connected to soul is to not have a story, to actually quieten the mind from having these stories. It's about learning to be really present. And next week I will talk some more about that. But right now I want to talk a little bit more about the practical situation of time in our lives, in our human life. I've come across so often people, and it happened again yesterday and the day before, where people will come up to me and go, oh, I love what you do, and I must come and do a retreat, a book club, an inspired manifestation masterclass. But right now, I just don't have the time. And so just not now, but look, I'll do it next time. And I thought about that, and I thought, next time, what makes us constantly think there will be a next time? Because I've got news for you. There isn't. We don't have a next time. We only ever have now, this moment. Somehow, our mind has conned us into believing that there is a future. But we don't have a future. Future doesn't exist. For us, the only thing that exists is now. And so when something comes up and you feel you'd like to do it, and you go, oh, yeah, but I'll do it next time. Sorry. Who knows whether there's a next time? I honestly so get that. I get that there may not be a next time. And I have my beautiful soul sister, growth buddy, who is no longer in the physicality with me, to thank for that, to bring that home to me. I've always intellectually understood that, but now I just know it to be true. because for her there wasn't a next time, as she walked into her bedroom and that was the end of her life. Bang! And there was no next time. She had just hung up the phone to her daughter, who was getting on a plane somewhere else, and saying, "I'll see you soon, darling." Bang! No more soon, no more next time, no more next moment in this physical life. And yet we live most of our life with this illusion inside of us that there'll be a next moment, a next time. One of the things that I've really learned over the years, that I make an absolute conscious choice about, is that I never leave anyone. When I leave someone, I complete with them. I don't leave anything unsaid. I don't think, well, I'll tell them next time. I will always finish my conversation and finish with you as if there won't be a next time. I will always tell people how I feel about them. I will always continue my conversation and end it with an "I love you," and not "I'll see you next time," because I don't know if there'll be a next time. In fact, I do know there isn't a next time. There is only now. Every time that we experience cannot be experienced in future or in past. It is only ever experienced in the now. You know, I really don't know how to get that through to people, because I feel so sad when someone says to me, "Oh, look, I can't do something right now. I really want to do it. Look, you know I want to do it. But hey, I've got this and I've got that. And I've got something else and I've got that and something else and something else. But look, I'll probably do it next time. Or I'll see you next time." And I smile and I go, maybe not. Maybe not. Right now, all I know is that I'm here with you. I don't know if there'll be a next time. I would like there to be, another time that I can connect with you, but all that I have is this moment to connect with you. So I make this moment count as much as I can. Every moment in my life is precious. Now, it's probably because I'm in the twilight of my life, as they tell me, and so I'm learning to appreciate every day and every moment I have as an extra bonus. But I would really like you to examine in your life, how many times do you say to yourself, "Oh, look, I just don't have time for that right now, okay, but I'll do it tomorrow, or I'll do it next week, or I'll do it some other time." It made me smile this morning because I actually sat down and I planned, would you believe, my whole year, plus some of next year, because I have a calendar, and so I put in programs which I make available to people. And look, if you look below, you'll find all the links to all the programs I run, which includes my retreats and the Inspired Manifestation Masterclass, the Spiritual Book Club. By the way, you can now join the Global Spiritual Book Club on Facebook and join the group. I've started a group, and so I'd love you to join that and share it with your friends, because when we read together, we can grow together. It's lots of fun. So I sat down with the calendar and I looked at it because I got an email from a very close friend of mine who sent me his year's schedule and asked when I could fit in with his schedule and with his wife's schedule, that I could join them because they leave the winter in Melbourne and they go north. And I looked at his schedule and I compared it to my schedule, and I had to try and find a spot that the two would be in sync. So I sent him a message saying, well, the only time I can do it is then, that we're both in sync. And then I looked, oh, well, now I really want to go and visit my daughter and her family at least once this year. And the only time I could do that was then. So I was planning my whole year. And then I got to the next year because I wanted to put in the dates for next year's retreat, which is, by the way, is May 14th to 7 days from that, the 20th. Or 21st, I think. Down, if you have a look at the link, then you can check that out. And so I was planning all these things because next year, if there is a next year, and if I'm there, then I really want to spend Chinese New Year with my daughter, which I've never done before, and I think that would be lots of fun. So I was planning. Now, why I share that with you is because living in the now doesn't mean that you don't plan. It just means that you don't have expectations about it. So I plan, but if it doesn't work out, I'm okay with that. It's okay. Because I actually don't know what's going to happen in the next moment. Yes, I've projected an idea, but you see, with every thought that I have, I add the highest possibility for me and all concerned. And then I hand it over to Soul. So if Soul doesn't think what I've just conjured up in my brain and in my mind is not for the highest good of my growth or anyone else's that is involved, then it isn't going to happen no matter what I want. And that's something that I've really had to learn to accept. Sometimes I don't accept it so well, and I struggle with it still. But more and more, I'm able to just let go and go, okay, struggle isn't part of my life. It's not what I want to do. And right now, in this moment, do I need to struggle? You see, the whole beauty about being in the now is that when you bring yourself to this moment in a moment of silence, and I don't mean that you have to have silence around you, you just need to have silence of your mind. You need to just come to this moment and you need to ask, right now, is everything okay? Am I okay? Am I safe? Have I had a good meal? Am I surrounded by love? Usually when we bring it to this moment, it's okay. Life's okay in this moment. We suffer because we worry about the next moment or the past moments. But if we bring it down to this moment, everything's fine. It couldn't be better. Nothing's happening that is going to be upsetting, that is going to interfere with anything. And I have a little itch there. But what we tend to do is we allow our mind to stray, and it goes off on its own little tangents, and it goes, well, yes, but tomorrow you have to do this and that, and the next day you've got to do this and that. But while you're doing that, you miss the peace of this moment. Right now, I am incredibly peaceful because everything is just fine. I'm just fine. I have no idea what is going to happen in the next moment. But one of the things I have learned is that if I project peace in this moment, I'm very likely to keep getting peace in the next moment if there is a next moment. When we can bring ourselves to the present, which is such a tiny fragment of a second, all of our life will begin to be so much more peaceful, so much more fluid, will be so much more in synchronicity. Because in this moment, if you can come home to that state of well-being that is inside of you, and just project that and be grateful for it. Because you see, the soul is always okay. Well, the soul's always okay because it doesn't have, the physical issues that we do as in our personalities. But if we can let go of those physical issues and we can bring it into the now, and we can go within and go, right this moment. When I work with people and they come to me with their grief, their fears, their need to change direction, their willingness to open up and become more consciously aware, whatever the reason that people come to me, if it has to do anything with a past trauma or a future fear, I always bring it back to, is it happening now? And they look at me strange and go, what do you mean? I said, well, is it happening now? And they go, well, yeah. No, it isn't, because right now you're sitting in a room, in a safe place. We're having a lovely conversation. Right now, everything's right in the world. And if only we could appreciate that. But we don't, because our mind is running amok with fears that are not real and that are not present. The more that we can bring our attention to this moment, the more of life we can experience in its true sense. So what I really want to encourage you is to, when you want to do something, do it. I was watching a YouTube clip the other day, and right now I can't quite remember who it was that was mentioning it. I think it might have been Adi Ashanti who was looking at, because I'm at the moment looking at some of his footage, because we're reading, in the book club, we're reading Falling into Grace, which is really all about that. It's all about being present, and because in this present moment, you fall into grace. There is just nothing that needs to be of any concern. It's all grace. But anyhow, it was this gentleman who was going, oh no, it wasn't that at all. It was a YouTube clip about a man who had totally, it was on my Facebook, given up his professional life, and his rollerblading all the time, right? So, but what really got to me was that he said that what changed his life was, so he was a psychiatrist and neurologist, and in a very high sort of professional status. Anyway, one day he went down to the cafeteria to have his meal, and in front of him was an elderly gentleman who was, when he asked him, was 90-something years old, and he said, how can I be, feel good when I'm your age? And the answer was very simple. The man looked at him and said, do what you want to. And when I listened to that, I said, oh yes. How many of us give ourselves permission to do what we want to? We spend so much time of our life doing what we think we have to pay the bills, pay a mortgage, to be approved of by friends or family, to live up to our own expectation or the expectations of society. How much of our life do we give away to something outside of our soul. And if we did what we want to, and this is not about, oh yes, but that would be ridiculous that means you'd never work, you'd never do. But you see, it's not true, because I believe the essence of humanity is to be of service. And if we did what we wanted to, we would find our natural talents, our natural gifts, and we would paint, we would tinker with engines, we would talk to people, we would find something that made us feel good, and we would go and do it. But we don't. How much of your time are you working at a job that you don't really like, but hey, pays the bills? I've talked about that before. Whilst you're doing that, your beautiful talents, your gifts of nature that you brought with you are lying there dormant, and you're missing it. And if you think that, yeah, but when I retire then, remember, there's only now. You don't know that you're even going to get there. Let's hope that you do. I won't ever get there because I don't think I can ever retire. But that's a different story. So please, please, I beg of you, if there's something that you think you'd like to do it. Don't put it off because something else you think that needs your attention more. And don't think, I'll do it next time, because there may not be a next time. In fact, there isn't a next time. There is only now. So that's really what I want to stress today and this week. The more you can bring your attention to this moment and just quietly go within and go, is there a problem anywhere in there? You'll always come up with going, no, right now I'm perfectly fine. There's no problem. Nothing that I need to be concerned about. The more you do it, the more your mind will get used to doing it, and the more in the present that you'll be able to live. So as usual, as you know, I draw a card, and I found it a little bit difficult this time because Keepers of the Light didn't seem to have a card that really resonated to what I was talking about. But of course it flipped out, and so we have a card. Let me see if I can get it not too glary. Okay, there it is. Master Buddha, yes? And it says increased awareness. And that's the thing, you see, because the more now that you become, the more aware you become. And it says deep connection, trust your inner voice. Yes, deep connection. When you think, I'll do it next time, your inner voice will never tell you that. Never. Because your inner voice doesn't believe in a next time. So if you hear it the next time, it will always come from your mind, and it will usually be connected to a fear. And that's not really what we are on about at all. So spend your week being present and be amazed at what you see that you might have missed if you hadn't been present. And please leave me a comment. I love comments, and I'd love to hear from you, and I'd love to hear from where you are from in your, if you're in another country, and please let me know and say hi, and I shall answer you. And of course, all the links to my programs, to the retreat. Look, I have just made another couple of places available for May the 10th to go to Ubud, Bali, and spend 7 days being connected to soul. So if you're interested, just send me a message, and I'll certainly send you all the details. The Inspired Masterclass, of course, that starts in April. There are some places still available, so look that up. And join me, of course. Well, you're on Facebook watching me, but on YouTube, please, subscribe to my channel and let's spread the word. This work is all about making more and more people consciously aware and present. So I wish you a wonderful week of nowness, and don't put anything off. Okay. Namaste. I love you. Please love yourself more. Have a great week.